Greetings! In today's video, I wanted to showcase the color I mentioned in my latest video, this ocean grey color by Schmincke. I've received my tube. As you can see, it came in this lovely little box, and I've already poured some in a pan for it to dry. I also decided to put some little dots on sheets of hot press, cold press, and rough paper. The hot press is from Strathmore 500, and the cold press and the rough paper are from Arches. I let these little dots dry, and I'm gonna paint some swatches just to see how the paint re-wets from dry, and I'm also gonna pour a bit of paint in a palette and paint directly from wet paint to see how the colors settle down and what kind of effects happens. Now, bear in mind that I'm not super awesome at controlling water, so there's going to be some backgrounds and some tests that are maybe a bit lackluster, but it should give you a good idea of how the color looks and what kind of granulation effects can happen. I will also let this video play in real time. If that's too slow for you, you can speed it up within the settings of the video on YouTube. But otherwise, I feel like it's more interesting to see the color in real time and see how it behaves as it happens. I will also feature the dry swatches at the end. Since the video I did on the new color, I found out a bit more about it. Someone told me that the color itself, the full pan, was part of the Cesc Farré palette, and that it was sort of exclusively available to Arte Miranda, which is a Spanish art supply store. Online, I don't know if they have physical locations as well, but they have a website. So that palette, the one they made with Cesc Farré and Arte Miranda, it's sold out. I think there's a few in stock at the moment of recording this, but I would expect them to go away real fast again. I don't know exactly how they went from making those exclusive products to having the paint in tubes available to the rest of us through Jackson's. I'm not mad at it. I love it. Very happy about that. Also, I forgot to mention in the first video that the paint is made from 3 pigments. So we have PB29 in there, which is the usual pigment for ultramarine blue. Then we have PG50, which is a pigment we find often in cobalt turquoise kind of colors. And then we have PBK6, which is a black pigment. Within Schmincke, I think this one is lamp black. I've also noticed that this is the sort of second product I've seen that comes in its own little box. From Otto's videos and other people's videos, I saw that the liquid charcoals that Schmincke has made also come in their own little boxes. And then this color also comes with its little box. I think it's really nice. It looks good. I don't think it's really necessary, but as long as it's not all the tubes that eventually come in boxes, I'm fine with it. It's just that the box is kind of wasteful a bit. Also, looking at this paint, it made me realize that if this paint eventually runs out, it shouldn't be too hard to mix a very similar color from paints that Schmincke has on the regular. There is not any peculiar rare pigment that they don't sell separately. So they have various PB29, they have the PG50, and they have PBK6. In that sense, that can take away a bit of the stress of not being able to secure this paint while it's available. Another few things that I noticed on the tube while I was looking at this one. I don't think I've noticed these things before, but first of all, on the tube, on the sticker at the back, there's a little mention to store frost-free, which I guess sort of makes sense, but then again, I've never seen any mention of this on other supplies. I wouldn't let my paints freeze, but you never really know if you order paints in the winter what's gonna happen. So that was interesting. Also, this tube has on the back a little mention to dispose of empty only. So basically you have to empty it before you dispose of it. And I wonder if it's like that for all the watercolor tubes, or if it's this one because it has the PG50 in it, the cobalt color. I'm fairly confident that PB29 and PBK6 are not toxic. They don't really pose any threat to humans or to marine life or to the environment, but the cobalt color is a bit more complex, so that's interesting. While painting the swatches, I noticed that the paint that I had in the palette would separate really quickly in the palette, and not in a bad way, just meaning that you can really easily see the blue-green color separates from a more gray muted blue color. I also really enjoyed how the color looked on the hot press paper. This is something that I didn't know until recently, but I was following another artist on Patreon, and they mentioned that they prefer to use hot press paper for paints with granulation, and I was like, huh, I've always heard that hot press is not good for granulation. But they were really adamant in their position, so I was like, you know what, maybe I should test it myself. And I did a bunch of tests, and I was really impressed because they are absolutely right. The super smooth paper that is hot press takes a really unpredictable nature when you put some granulating colors on it, which is really, really fun. I almost prefer that effect now to the ones that I get on cold press or even rough paper. If you don't believe me, I would encourage you to try it yourself. You can get one of these Strathmore ready-cut paper sets for like $10. It's not exactly expensive, and it's cotton paper, so for a bunch of test swatches, it's really fun to use. That's what I like to use. That's it for this closer look on this beautiful new color from Schmincke. I hope you enjoyed watching the color go as I did when I painted these. And thank you very much for watching. Take care. Bye bye.